Thistle of the Nile is a representation of a work of art. It is active creativity all through. The author opens the reader to the enjoyment of telling stories in different ways that enable the reader to recognize that poetry is a different kind of storytelling that communicates deeply beyond the poet's intention, framing his poetic style as a unique one accentuated with an illustrative technique that gives the reader visualization. This anthology of poems is a pack of brilliant thoughts set in the context of Uganda and beyond. When you savor his poems, you'll see that the author shines light on beauty in the dark places through his poetry. The poems are able to teach and encourage the reader to always look underneath. The reader is reminded that in the middle of danger, it's never all gone. Still yourself and hold on to the inner life, for the outer life may have more. Experiencing the poems, the reader is reminded that we hold dearness and light of living in our thoughts. This anthology of poems is a true reflection of the soul. In this book, the reader will find a foundation for hidden thoughts and imagination, like a precious mineral that lay underneath the ground and requires excavation and building a mine shaft to unearth it. These poems unearth authentic emotions from the reader. The reader will encounter the truth, be the truth too, and is taken on an adventurous journey to a place where they get to visualize what the author fathomed and saw through the lenses of the images that the life brought in his journey. Like honey to taste its efficacy, a slow and patient approach is justified rather than a gobble in this anthology of poems. To get a copy of Thistle of the Nile, get one from Aristoc Bookstores, www.mwebasabooks.com, www.amazon.com. About the author, Richard Mwebasa is a voice of inspiration and award-winning author of books Out of the Crowd and Inspired by 40. A life coach and a poet, he is a certified business professional, master's executive, and MBA holder, a seasoned marketing, business development, and sales professional. He is a strategic thinker, proactive, resilient, a systematic executor, and enjoys strategy, design, and execution. He has worked with a number of people in developing their competences and growing them to reach their full potential. He is passionate about developing systems and unlocking potential within others.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. My name is Richard. Again, I have good news for us. We have been in the kitchen 2 years working on an anthology of 49 freshly brewed poems. I would like to tell you that Thistle of the Nile, an anthology of poems, an illustrative anthology of poems is out. Once again, my name is Richard Mwebesa. I am an award-winning author of 3 books so far: Out of the Crowd, The Ultimate Guide to Mastering the Art of Standing Out, Inspired by 40, the award-winning book of quotes, and lastly, Thistle of the Nile, an anthology of poems, which is going to be released officially on the 27th of January 2023. I have the book already out, and this is a very powerful, inspiring, motivating, and a very good biscuit, and I would say vitamin, to inspire people to go for their own values. I'll just give you a backstory why I wrote the book. I mean, I've always wondered, I love poetry and I love stories. So one time during the times of COVID, lockdowns in 2020, 2021, I had a bit of time because the lockdown was going on. I was a bit bored at home. We wouldn't move out or in. So I said, how can I put these stories together from what I was observing around me? So I said, let me prepare and put together poetry. The poetry bells rang. And I said, well, let me give it a shot. I've never studied literature, I've never done poetry. Okay, I'm a poetry lover, I love poetry, but I've never really gone into the detail. So I said, let me outdo myself, do homework, self-teach myself, and do research So I carried out a lot of research because at the time, as I said, being in lockdown, so I put together 49 poems. Wow, poetry is hard. It's quite draining. I would rather write than put down poems. But nonetheless, it was a journey. I would like to tell you, my friends and my fans, that Thistle of the Nile is now finally out. I'll just give you a bit of the detail, a sneak peek of what is in there. We already have the book out online. The e-copy is ready. You can get yourself a copy of Thistle of the Nile by Richard Mwebesa. It's on africanbooks.com. I repeat, africanbooks.com. We have a premiere on amazon.com. So please go on and pre-order your copies. You can pre-order. The Amazon release date is 27th of January 2023 of Thistle of the Nile. 27th January of 2023 on Amazon. You can work out your pre-orders for the e-copies. We're working in the background to ensure that we also have hard copies printed. We're already actually in production, but the e-copy is out for you to read on your tab, just like this, or on your smartphone or your device, and enjoy. So what is Thistle of the Nile all about? I've always known Africa is very interesting, it's diverse. Africa is a jewel. It's very beautiful, very, very, very nice. If you look at our scenery, you look at the people, the cultures, we are people who are lovable, people who love others. We socialize with each other. And poetry is not news actually in Africa. When I did my homework and research, I realized we've always been expressing ourselves in poetic forms. Yes, interestingly, looking at our language, looking at our literature, looking at our art, looking at our dance, we've always been expressing ourselves in different forms of folklore. So I got inspired and said, why not put together freshly brewed poems that speak about the language that we understand as Africans. And I realized, okay, at the fireplace in the evenings, our elders used to tell stories. Actually, they still do tell stories. They gather up, they tell stories that inspire children and inspire the youth, and they talk about life, and they're actually very sociable. During different occasions, they come together, they dance, they celebrate, and they enjoy each other. So poetry is not news to us. And why I love poetry, because it's powerful. It says very many words, very deep, strong words in a very brief way, precise way. So poetry is about a lot to do with metaphor, a lot to do with similes, a lot to do with prose. So I don't want to bore you with the mechanics and the techniques of poetry, but by and large, it's a very profound way of communicating. So during that time, I put together these poems. I did thought through about different ideas, and the 49 poems are now fresh and out there. The catch about this book and why this book is very powerful is because I got an idea to work two art forms. The first art form is, of course, poetry. Poetry is art, and also use visual art. So I worked with a collaborating friend, Eddie Rothomio, who is an illustrator, is actually an artist, and he put together illustrations in the book. So as you read the poetry and enjoy it, as you savor it, as you taste it like honey, this book is going to take you on an adventure. It's going to take you on a journey where it will tickle your imagination. It will tackle your imagination as well, but it will take you on a journey where you will be able to visualize by seeing what I was seeing during the times when I was framing and putting together this poem. So what is Thistle of the Nile about? Thistle of the Nile, of course, is set in the landscapes of Ugandan life. Yeah, the Thistle of the Nile is a collection of art and poetry that lays the foundation for the reader to explore hidden thoughts and imaginations. Yeah, like precious minerals that lay underneath. Yeah, you will agree with me. Gold is never on the surface. Diamonds are never on the surface. Pearls are never on the surface. If you look at pearls, they are deep down in the sea, inside the shell. If you look at diamonds, they are deep down underneath the soil. Yeah. If you look at gold, gold is never on the surface. You have to build a mine shaft. You have to build, put together a lot of stock. You have to mobilize equipment to do a mining job. You have to get a permit and a license to be able to mine and exploit and of course discover this gold, of course do exploration and then be able to unearth that mineral. So we are human beings, and inside us we are just like we have gold, we have a treasure inside us. So I look deep down in my soul when I was putting together these poems, and these poems are so fresh, they are so organic, so inspiring and so interesting. They talk about different aspects of life, and basically they talk about the truth, and they are easy to connect with. Yes, there's creative work behind the scenes, but when you look at these poems, you will enjoy them because they are easy to relate with. As I said, brief, precise stories set in the context of Uganda and beyond. One other thing that I love about Thistle of the Nile is, of course, as I said, I did myself putting them together for 2 years. Yes, 2 years, 24 months. I was working day and night to ensure that these poems take shape and come together. So I would like to request you, please work out your pre-orders on Amazon. The release date on Amazon is 27th of January this year, 2023. The ebook is already out on africanbooks.com. africanbooks.com. www.africanbooks.com. The book is already there, the e-copy. So go and check it out. It's actually I've given it out at a giveaway price, given the work I've done to work, as I said, with the illustrator, the artist, to put together with my poetic art to work out a fusion of visual art and illustrations. I would like to thank everyone who worked on the project. I cannot forget you. I do appreciate you, all of you, starting from Aline, Karasi, Fiona Ward. Appreciate you so much for your early endorsement for Thistle of the Nile. Barbara Yatta, thank you so much for your endorsement. Andrew Sazi, Jarvis Masendi, thank you so much. I do appreciate you all for your advance praise. Robert Tuhaise, thank you so much for your thoughts after looking at the poems. Neville, thank you so much for your advance praise. I do appreciate you all for your input. Of course, my brother Bonnie, Lot Olem, thank you so much for your early endorsement for the book. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And of course, to Julius as well, thank you so much for your early endorsement. And everybody, maybe I've forgotten any name, but all of you who put together your appreciation. Of course, to Michael Nimo, my friend David Darkwa, thank you so much all for your early endorsements. Eddie Subuga, thank you so much for your early endorsements. I cannot also forget to thank, of course, my designers for the project, Andrew Gordon, Mogisha, for doing the layout. I cannot forget to also thank my friend Robert Sechanzi for the book cover design. I cannot also forget to, of course, thank Elpix, who are taking this shot and also helping me on part of the poems, the advanced poems. Of course, Chris of Embargo Coffee and your entire team, Wycliffe on the camera. I appreciate you all for the input on Thistle of the Nile and what we've done, actually also shooting the early blurb video for Thistle of the Nile. Yes, talking about what Thistle of the Nile is about. I appreciate you all and everybody who worked on the project. Ed Rothomio, the illustrations that you put together, of course, Lina Pira, I cannot forget. Thank you for working with me on the ebook formatting. Lead publishers, big up. I appreciate you all for your input. As you can tell, of course, I can't forget to thank my wife, who was, of course, my first audience as we're working on the poems. Joan, I appreciate you, and of course the kids, all my children, Gideon, Deborah, Jonathan, and Akila. Thank you so much for working with me on this project in these 2 years. It's been quite something running up, and as I said earlier, poetry is not a walk in the park, something quite interesting but also quite draining. and I'm glad that a number of people worked with me on this project to put together mine. I can't forget to thank, of course, Doreen, Kaitesi, and Sharon Daru for your input and you being able to come together and work on the early advanced poems. Yes, you did the YouTube poems for Corona Baroness, which is part of Thistle now, and you also recited, Sharon, you recited Sip Sip Soap, which brought out that artistry and the poetic frame of the book Thistle of the Nile. So it's been 2 years, and I'm glad at least this project is now finally out. I can only call upon all my friends, all the poetry lovers. These poems are on point. Online, the book is already out on africanbooks.com. I repeat, africanbooks.com. The e-copy is out, so I'm in production to work on the hard copy soft covers, and they'll be out in a couple of days. The premiere on Amazon has a pre-order system, so please go online and pre-order your copy for Thistle of the Nile. It's an anthology of poems, 49 poems from Uganda, talking about our lifestyle, talking about what we do and who we are as Ugandans, and the things that we see in a day-to-day life. So this anthology is very powerful. Don't miss out. Get yourself an e-copy. You can read the e-copy on your tab or in your phone, smartphone. You can read it on your laptop, on your desktop. If you go to africanbooks.com, and on 27th, from 27th of January 2023, you can also get an e-copy on Amazon, or you can right now pre-order yourself a copy. When the hard copies are ready, you can also get a copy, e-copy or hard copy, on my website, mwebesabooks.com. I repeat, mwebesabooks.com. So I thank you all so much, all the poetry lovers, all the people that love stories. Please grab yourself a copy of Thistle of the Nile. It will never leave you the same. Thistle of the Nile is the title of the anthology, the book, but it's also a title of a poem. It's the lead poem in the book. Very powerful, talking about the beauty of Uganda, talking about our beauty, and talking about inspiration and how to do what you do well. I thank you so much, and I appreciate you all for always tuning on this channel. I remain Richard Mwebesa, an award-winning author of 3 books, Out of the Crowd, Inspired by 40, and now Thistle of the Nile.